Some people can take one piece of criticism and just accept it. No pushback, no questions. Someone points out a mistake, and something in their head just goes, yeah, fair enough. But praise gets cross-examined. Tell that same person they did an amazing job, and suddenly they're building a whole case for why they didn't. No, honestly, it wasn't that good. I just got lucky. You're only saying that to be nice. They laugh it off. Change the subject. Bring up the one flaw you didn't even mention. Sometimes they'll fire a compliment straight back at you, almost like they need the spotlight off themselves as fast as possible. Other times you get the full explanation. A whole breakdown of why the thing you praised doesn't actually count. From a distance, this can look like modesty. But modesty doesn't usually make kindness feel suspicious. It doesn't usually make someone tense up, argue with a compliment, or go hunting for a reason it can't be true. So when praise is harder to sit with than criticism, there's usually something else going on underneath it. If any of this feels familiar, stay with me, because we're going to unpack exactly why it happens. Because this isn't really about finding the perfect way to respond when someone compliments you. It's about understanding why positive feedback can clash so hard with the version of you that's already living in your head, and what to do when part of you keeps pushing away every good thing people notice. So here's what's actually happening. When someone says something nice to you, it doesn't just float past. It runs straight into whatever you already believe about yourself. They tell you you're really talented, but somewhere in the back of your mind, there's a file that says not good enough, and those two things collide. Psychologists have a word for that clash: cognitive dissonance. It's the discomfort of holding two beliefs at once that don't agree with each other. And instead of doing the hard work of rebuilding your self-image in 5 seconds, your brain does the easier thing. It just tosses the compliment out. There's actually a theory built around this, self-verification theory. Basically, we trust feedback that matches what we already think of ourselves, even when that belief isn't kind. So criticism ends up feeling weirdly convincing, while praise feels off, almost suspicious. There's research behind this too. People with lower self-esteem will often push back on positive feedback, even from someone they trust completely. Then there's the imposter piece. You do well, and your brain hands the credit to luck. You genuinely succeed, and somehow the story that sticks is, I fooled everyone this time. Someone compliments you, and it doesn't land like recognition. It lands like they just haven't caught on yet. People carrying imposter feelings have a hard time actually keeping their wins. They'll reach for an outside explanation before they'll take the credit. And for some people, it's simpler than any of that. Accepting praise just feels risky. It invites attention, expectations, the fear of coming across as arrogant. So they shrink the moment down before anyone else gets the chance to. So, how do you actually start shifting this? First, catch the defense before it leaves your mouth. Notice the moment you're deflecting, joking it away, redirecting, arguing back. You don't need to make the discomfort disappear. Just stop automatically obeying it. Second, separate receiving a compliment from fully believing it. You're allowed to say, I appreciate you noticing that, without signing off on being flawless. Third, turn the compliment into evidence. Instead of arguing with yourself over whether you're actually talented, ask a smaller question. What specific thing did they notice? Maybe it was your preparation, your patience, how much you've improved. Sitting with the actual reason behind a compliment tends to make it feel a lot more believable than just brushing past it. And finally, rebalance the credit. When that voice says, it was only luck, push back gently. What did I personally bring to this? Write down one honest answer, not an exaggerated one, just something true. None of this is about becoming arrogant. It's about no longer treating criticism as the only reliable source in the room, while every kind observation gets filed away as some kind of mistake. A compliment might not match the person you currently believe you are, but that doesn't automatically mean the compliment is the one that's wrong. There's something else going on here that most people never quite clue into. A compliment does more than describe what you did. Oftentimes it builds a version of you, a version you now feel stuck keeping alive. Someone tells you, you're so talented, and what actually lands isn't praise. It sounds more like an assignment. Now you have to be talented every single time. You're always so dependable, quietly turns into a rule. Falling apart isn't allowed anymore. You're such a confident person turns into another one. Nobody gets to see you struggle. So turning the compliment down That's a way of shrinking the expectation before it gets heavy. No, I'm really not that good. What you're actually saying is, please don't build a picture of me I might let down later. And honestly, sometimes the compliment isn't even the hard part. Being seen is, praise shines a light on something you'd rather keep tucked away, your work, how you look, who you are, the effort you put in when you thought nobody was watching. If you're someone who's used to staying in the background, I noticed you can hit strangely hard, even when it's said with real warmth. That's probably why the kind of compliment matters just as much as the compliment itself. Someone can take "I like your shoes" without blinking, then completely freeze up the second someone says, "You're really smart." Someone else shrugs off praise about their work, but can't sit still with anything about being attractive or kind or lovable or important to someone. Notice which compliments make you squirm the most. They usually land right on the parts of you that you trust the least. Then there are people who learned early that praise came with strings attached. Maybe it only showed up after a good performance. Maybe kindness always arrived right before a favor was asked. Maybe they were praised one day and picked apart the next. So now, even the real thing, the genuine stuff, can feel like the opening move of something. What do they want? What happens the moment I mess up? Are they saying this because they mean it, or because they want something from me? The person giving the compliment might be completely sincere. Your reaction to it usually has nothing to do with them, though. It's about every other time kindness came with a catch. At the end of the day, we're all a little like a singer walking off stage after a good show. The crowd's still buzzing. Somebody's humming the chorus under their breath. A few people are already talking about the part that gave them chills. And backstage, the singer's thinking, did everyone hear that note I missed? Probably. But that wasn't the whole song. That's the thing about a compliment. The person giving it is describing what reached them. You're back there second-guessing everything that happened before anyone even got a watch. They say, you handled that really well. Then you remember the panic beforehand. They say, that thing you made was brilliant. You remember 12 terrible drafts, the last-minute changes, the moment you almost deleted the whole thing. They say, you made me feel comfortable. You remember worrying you came across awkward the entire time. A compliment rarely grades your technique. Most of the time, it's just someone telling you how you landed for them. The singer knows about the misnote. The audience just knows the song moved them anyway. Nobody's lying here. That's worth holding on to whenever the urge to argue shows up. Knowing how messy something felt on the inside doesn't cancel what somebody else actually felt watching it. Being scared the whole time doesn't cancel the courage it took to start. 12 bad drafts still ended in something finished. And doubting yourself along the way, that doesn't erase whatever you gave somebody else either.